What is up, you guys? This is JP here coming at you with another fitness video. Today's video is a topic that I haven't really done yet. Kind of like a versus series. You may see these all over YouTube with either exercise versus exercise or a piece of equipment versus a piece of equipment. And while I do think there's a lot of gray area in these kind of discussions in versus series, I do think that they are good questions because some people may not know what to use. But today's video is going to be which is better for you in regards to hypertrophy and strength as well, because strength is kind of, you'll hear my answer, but strength is definitely going to factor in this as well. But mainly I'm going to be talking about hypertrophy. So which one's better for you, a bar attachment or rope attachments? Again, it's a simple topic, nothing too in-depth. It's probably not worth a ton of your guys' time to fuss about. That's why I'm doing a video on. And I'm going to give you guys kind of the very direct answer, and then I'm going to kind of give you the cop-out answer after. So I'm still going to give you guys an answer, but I know people will do cop-out answers and you don't really leave the video with a definitive answer from the person making the video. But first we got to just talk about stability briefly. With every exercise you have something that's more stable. It requires less balance in your part. Things like leg press, not much balance. You're sitting against a seat, you're on a seat, and everything's very stable, it's bolted into the ground, and you're pressing a lot of weight against you. That's why you can move a lot of weight on a leg press. Then you have on the other end of the spectrum, so this is more stable. Then you have on the other end of the spectrum, very non-stable movement. So leg press over here, and on this side we have a single leg squat on the Bosu ball. Very, very, very unstable, and it requires a lot of stability on your part. So much stability that most of you watching this, including myself, cannot do a single leg squat on a Bosu ball. It's just not enough stability. You don't even have enough stability to do it, but you definitely don't have enough stability to overload it regardless. You can't do it, you can't overload it. But even people who can do a single leg squat on a Bosu ball can't truly overload it. They just can't do that. There's just not enough stability there. So again, and we all know that if we want to get more jacked, we want to gain muscle, we have to have progressive overload for that muscle tissue. Our exercise, the heaviest demand of a specific exercise cannot be balanced. If you're focusing on balancing the entire time and it's not putting proper overload on that muscle, you're simply not going to grow. Look at the SAID principle, specific adaptations to impose demands. So knowing this kind of scale, with more stable, less stable. More stability is good for the most part. Now there's little caveats in there, where you have to create like internal stability. But for the most part, more stable is better for hypertrophy when you're trying to tackle that muscle. So my straightforward answer for you is, if you can feel the muscle working the same with a bar attachment and a rope attachment, I would almost always say go with the bar attachment. That is for most things that you have an either or with. Now, not every exercise it's like, oh, bar or rope, but if you do come across that, like with curls, I would go with the bar attachment. Why? Because you have more stability and you're able to push more weight or overload that muscle group a little bit more. For example, let's look at the bicep curl. This is at 100 pounds. So when I curl this, I'm not gonna lie, that feels pretty heavy, kind of hard. Not crazy hard for me, but pretty hard. So when I take this bar attachment, and remember, I'm actually curling the weight of this bar too. So this bar is more weight than that rope. So this is actually more weight. When I put this on here and then do the curl with the bar attachment, that felt honestly kind of a good amount easier than the rope attachment did. I would honestly go as far as to say I could probably go up in weight. So just simply testing that myself, you can do it yourself with the rope attachment, with the bar attachment. I'm able to overload that muscle group more. So if you're able to overload that muscle group more because you have greater stability because of the bar, that means over the long term you're going to get more gains. So that's my direct answer for the video. Now, my kind of cop-out answer where I have to cover some caveats is you also have to think about what a rope can do. A rope is going to be able to allow for different grips. It's going to allow for different ranges of motion. If you're doing tricep extensions and you have two ropes attached, you're going to be able to get behind the body. Your arm's going to be able to get behind the body, and a bar is not going to be able to. Because if you're doing, tricep push downs with the bar is going to hit your legs and you can't go further past your body. So when it comes to range of motion and things like that, a rope does have an advantage. So if you have a specific purpose for the rope, use it. Also too, with a rope, sometimes with a rope, I can just feel the muscle more. And perfect example is with the tricep push down. So if we're doing like, move this up here. If we're doing a tricep push down from here, I feel it, but for some reason I feel it a lot, but for some reason I don't feel the triceps working as much as I do with a rope. I don't know if it's because I'm able to have a neutral grip. I'm not exactly sure why, or maybe it's because I can get my arms further behind my body. Whatever the reason is, I feel, I'm almost got in the head with that, but I feel my triceps working more with the rope attachment with tricep push downs than I do with a bar. Again, I can't pinpoint the exact reason. I would have to test every single different variable between the two, but that's just how it feels better for me. So while the bar, I can probably put more weight on, if I'm not really feeling it in my triceps, it just doesn't feel like I'm really working the triceps that much. So I don't want to do all these sets and I'm not feeling the muscle. So that might be a little bit more of a subjective answer, but again, you have to account for, a bar, you can grab it like this, you can grab it like this. Now they have some different metal attachments, but other than that, the bar is not going to be able to bend. A rope, you can kind of twist it, every which way. You can kind of take weird angles. You can get behind the body with it, especially if you combine it with another rope. So again, it's kind of, I guess a summary is that yes, if everything else is equal and you feel it in both the same, I would go with a bar. But if you have a specific purpose with the rope, like you feel it in the muscle more, you want to get different hand grips, different range of motion, something along those lines, then definitely in that instance, I wouldn't say one is better than the other. If you guys have any questions, comments, leave them down below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.